Corrales, thank you. Last week, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission announced historic renovations of Lake Conway that will require draining and rebuilding the 75-year-old dam. This morning, Wake Up Central Skot Covert has more information on what that will mean to anglers and how long that project will last.
Hey, good Saturday to you. It's time for another edition of the Outdoor Report. Joined this week by Trey Reid. Of course, Trey, a lot going on all across the state. It's getting hot. It's fishing season. You guys had some big news last week. We talked about it here on the Outdoor Report. Still getting some questions about the big project at Lake Conway.
Yeah, Lake Conway renovation. It has been, well, I'd say 20 years in the making. We've been discussing it internally at Game and Fish for about 18 years, but, you know, really you have to go back. It's 75 years in the making. As we discussed, you know, the lake was built in the late 1940s, and you know, stuff wears out.
Sure.
So the dam needs to be replaced, but most importantly, we're using this as an opportunity to create an incredible fishery. You know, we've lost, we think, up to 40% of the volume of the lake.
Wow.
There's sedimentation that we know because we've gone out there and measured it.
Yeah.
Like a foot to 3.5 feet of just silt in some places,
Wow.
especially on the northern part of the lake in Conway proper. You can't even get a kayak or a canoe in the water because of that. We've actually lost surface area of the lake. Now, okay, all of this is going to bring fishing back, but at the Game and Fish Commission, we're going to go in, we're going to enhance, you know, the boat ramps. We're going to fix boat ramps. We're going to fix some of those dilapidated structures. And if property owners want to, you know, do something on their property, now is the time to do that. Sure. And, you know, some of those dilapidated structures, we're going to turn that into fish habitat. We're going to do like, I think upwards of 3,000 individual fish habitat structures in that lake while it's down. Yeah, it's going to be a little inconvenient.
And it's not going to happen overnight.
No, we're talking about a 5-year plan, probably more like 7, 8, 9 years before the lake is really fishing.
So we're talking
again.
That long to draw it down, to do all the work that has to be done.
That's right.
And then for Mother Nature to refill it.
Yeah, and it won't take, it's a pretty big watershed, so it'll be about a year. You know, a lot of this, of course, is weather dependent. If it doesn't rain much, it'll take longer. If it rains a lot, it'll take less time.
Sure.
But we think, you know, given averages, it'll take about a year for it to refill, given the size of the watershed. But man, you know, the thing that excites me the most as an angler who lives in Little Rock, and I've fished Conway for many, many years, but we're going to get a brand new lake that is going to be just amazing.
And a lot of folks, as we talked about this last week, I was reminded you've done a comparable, maybe smaller, but similar scope of project in Monticello, Lake Monticello. It's starting to fill back up, and I saw you guys had some news this week with regards to that.
Yeah, that's right, Scott. We actually stocked Florida strain largemouth bass in the lake.
Okay.
And you know, these things are, so it's a process, all right? Obviously, you've got to get the water down. You got to do the work on your infrastructure, like your dam. You got to put those fish habitat structures in. Mother Nature helps us out by putting the water back in it, but then we start stocking it, okay? And we start with bait fish, like, you know, minnows and things like that. Then we'll add some, say, bluegills, which are a sport fish, but they're also a bait for, you know, the crappie and bass eat. And so then now we're to that stage at Lake Monticello where we're stocking advanced Florida bass fingerlings. These are not your 2 to 3 inch fingerlings like we often stock. These are like 9 to 11 inch fish. So these are good sized fish, going to give them a good jump start. And you mentioned Lake Monticello, but there's other examples. Lake Coinset, which we stocked with predatory fish like bass and crappie last year. So those fish are about a year old now.
Yeah.
That project started in 2019. You can go back even farther to White Oak Lake down in South Arkansas. 2010, 2012 time frame was the renovation. I mean, it's just on fire right now. 5 and 6 pound bass are so common that people don't really bat an eye when they catch them. When you catch those 8s, 9s, 10s, 12s, that's when people really get excited down there. So yeah, I mean, Lake Monticello is a great, so we've got these various lakes. That's one of the things that gave us the confidence going into this Lake Conway project. Yes, it's a much bigger lake and a bigger project, but we have a proven track record of success, and we know, as one of our deputy directors, Ben Batten, former chief of fisheries, said, he goes, I know how this story ends, and it ends very well.
For all Arkansans. We're running out of time, but I do want to ask about the Elk Fest.
Yeah, Elk Festival going on today. You know, we talked previously, Scott, we had an abbreviated permit application period this year, May 1st through 15th. I know I've gotten some emails from some people that might have missed that, so it's not too late. As long as you get up to Jasper today, about 4 p.m. in the old Buffalo Theater, the Game and Fish Commission staff will be set up there taking applications. And then we're going to do an on-site only. It's a whole different pot. We put all those applications into a separate squirrel cage, and at 5 p.m. you must be present to win. We're going to give away 3 elk tags that you can still sign up for until 4 p.m. today at the old Buffalo Theater in Jasper.
The time is ticking, folks. Get those applications in. Trey, thanks so much.
We'll
see y'all back here next week for another edition of the Outdoor Report, which reminds me, hey, if you got a question for Trey, whether it's hunting, fishing, outdoor related, here's how to get those questions to him. Just send us a text message, 501-376-1111.